Welcome back to Aarambh. Today, today we are live because of some most important topics, which are the security related topics. If you are using a web application somewhere in your cloud environment, there's buying something like some hackers have come and throw your SQL injection code in your request and your database directly execute that. This will happen what the database drop it. Database all query are required, the login screen, everything depend on SQL. That's why we are using in our all application the DTO always with validation. Like this, it means it's always a validate everything before passing to the handle. If you are not using a in buy of code validator, just use the like me. Let's create a database SQL SQLX database created here and SQLX migration run. Now our database is created in PostgreSQL. Let's try to run and open the PostgreSQL and check here database is created or not. Database is created and let's run it and we test it again. This is a simple workspace kit. If we are show it in the my video of 9 hours, you can see on this video we are creating a web page kit. It is same project but in Ignitia on my framework which I built it. Okay, when it will and run, we test our everything. Now our server is Ignitia is running very fastly. Okay, let's register here one user. The user was registered successfully. It's sending a it take 5 seconds because it's sending a mail to this email, but there is no email. Let's stop this mail sending functionality. But in real production, you need to send this mail for verification user. I am just stopping because I don't want the user to send a mail and verification all of this. Okay, let's stop and clear and delete the fully database again. Let's SQL database create again. SQL migration run and cargo run it again. Now if we are now we are running this without the register in 200 milliseconds because it's not send any mail to the user. Now let's try to log in. Now it log in perfectly. What will happen if I use here SQL injection like or 1 equal to 1? It means in database directly through the all query what we are running. Okay? Here is the request blockade. Why? Because I am using a proxy server. It is through proxy server before going to request to my backend. Okay. Let's open here that proxy server. This is Dev-Proxy server. You can see here are the all requests are showing you perfectly. This project are built by me for development purpose. If you are using a, you can see here response. Response as a keep alive, and the Ignitia server is sending a response like this. This is a register successfully. And if you go to here request body, here you can see the example of request body and the header. Okay. Let's go back and why this is request failing. Let's show that here the response there is no body only header. You can see the date and time and the connection will close. And the server is the Pingora. Okay, why Pingora server? I will show you in just a minute. Any other private and no store content related zero and everything. Okay. Okay. There is a Pingora server is running behind it. Here is a Pingora server, and it detects the SQL injection code in our server. In our request means you can see here is saying the SQL is detection in request body. It means it directly stops the request, not execute, not prosecute any type of request for related this type of query. Okay. Now I am just removing the SQL injection code and try again. It will create everything. Okay. Let's get the request again of user list. Here the user me, and I am used here in ID like this. You can see I am now sending a inquiry on URL. Okay. If I send here, the request is also blocked by the Pingora server. It's saying that now in a, in URL there is SQL detection. Okay. That's why this Pingora is also blocked this. If I remove this and it's also passed this. There is also custom header. If sometime you are trying to add something in header and SQL query to get header and SQL query on base of that, there is also a blockade association. Okay. This project is the more of the security why the hackers is trying to attack your server and everything. This security must be a has attack to stop and only the validating the everything, not the like this only. There is a more SQL code. I will show you. On it. Let's create a simple workspace here, and this workspace created successfully. Let's write here some code like this. This what wait. This is waiting for a 5 seconds to delay all query. Okay, in your database. Simply command wait for delay for 5 seconds. I am saying to just do a 5 second delay all of your command, all of your query execution. Okay. Now I start. So we send the request. It said the 504 internal error, but there is a SQL injection detect this in a body. It means it never give you to create this. If I create this, it's already exist in database saying let go get all query, get all workspace. There is only one space, one workspace. If you see the VS also send a request for this workspace with SQL query where SQL injection is not creating database. It means Pingora server is between it stops the all requests there. If it find any SQL injection in the server, okay. Otherwise, it return you the same error or otherwise it create the database. Okay. In this proxy server, you can see here all requests are captured. Okay. You can also repeat this request from here and the same everything, the original duration, the replay duration, and everything will be stored here and show you. In dashboard, you can see the distribution, how much request and the get and post, the delete, update, everything will here show. And the status code what description here the what the status is come or the success rate is 60% only. The average timing is 330 milliseconds. Here's a mock. You can create your mock API here and the custom response, the custom API for your development purpose. And this is a modifier. You can modify the here every response. Response is content is match or your API response, everything. You can modify your response from here. The rate limiter option specific URL. You can do a rate limiter or any specific API global all the users or per IP user, per header or per custom pattern. What you want, it depend on you. The legacy injection. Okay, now this is a Pingora WF. Let's open this in our code editor and show you how it works. Okay, this is our Pingora web application firewall. Okay, this is a command for web application firewall. The config file. Every config file here you can create your own and give to it for complication. The SQL injection mode is on and the block you want the SQL injection query or not. Accesses with the process scripting, the rate limiter, the IP filter with what whitelist and backlist, the maximum body size what you want for your incoming database, incoming request, and here the old dog. How it works? First is take the old request and is scan the is every part from a URL to header the body, everything. Like here in proxy, you can store the mod folder, mod file. You can see here the request filter is a get the client IP And requesting is everything rate limiter applying. It has body, it have body, don't check it will check here header and SQL header everything. In body you can check the body limit, what you defined and what it's getting. At the end of the stream is just check the body SQL injection what detected or not is detected, and it's just return the SQL injection detection body is accepted with cross-site scripting is detected, it will directly return to cross-site scripting to the user to the front end stream and everything what here. Okay, here is SQL injection code. You can see the averaging in reject format for every type of SQL injection is a unique paste injection. The classic Boolean injection pattern, data manipulation, statement framing, and the command, SQL execution, time-based binding and injection, hex encoding, fighting, bypass attempt. Okay, this all type of SQL injection is pattern is here. You can see and accept everything, the header pattern and everything. It checks the rule what are defined. Not only for this the pattern what you seeing, you can define your own pattern rules. Here is a custom rule example. Here is a pattern of your custom rule. What you want to exploit and everything. You can check the security rule, implement your custom rule, and enhance the more security for your web applications, servers, and everything. Here you can see the SSB only, the type of header you want the security, the firewall between your web application and this server, the path traveler, every type of you can create your custom rule. It's the security more enhanced in your web application. Okay. Here not only the security matter, here also a metric. The whole type of how many requests total requests come, how many total requests allowed, and how the total requests are blocked, how many total requests are blocked. Everything on metrics you can accept on enhance the more metrics if you want. It depends on you how you want to use this project at how long. If you like this project and GitHub to start, the link in the description below. Okay, let's how much request you can handle. You can run like this, the Pingora WAF localhost, the what your localhost we are running in backend. Okay? In backend right now we are running the Ignitia this server WebKit example, and I am run this. Now the Pingora WF is running perfectly, and any type of request we can send here. Every request you can see in Pingora terminal, it bypassing from here. Get method that is what actually request was completed. It's giving to perfectly in log. Okay, and here in the Dev-Proxy, everything you can see was recorded by our Dev-Proxy. For development environment, this Dev-Proxy only for not production. If you are using production, don't use this. Okay, for you are developing a backend application, front-end developer, you want to communicate, but there is some time. The front-end developer requests and sometimes it's giving the wrong request response, and the front-end developer complain you the response is gone away. This they have record. You can give the front-end developer so you this is the response come from backend, and now you want to change it. Okay, let's here try with ID equal to 1 or 1 equal to 1. This request needs to block it by our Pingora, the web application firewall. Okay, let's run, and this exactly what we want. If you see here, SQL injection detection in the query, in the URL, that's good for our web application. And here you can see, here you can see the response to server Pingora is blocked to everything. Okay, because it detects in URL, because it detects in URL the SQL injection code. If I remove it again and find it, now is everything was fine. The response is successful return, and this the work fine. Sometimes in backend you are not you are not using a validation. Like I am using this validation, I want this type of everything. I want the land this of email, and it definitely needs to email. If you are not using validation, you can see here if the validation is not using in your database, make sure you use of your backend every type of validation, because the validation is definitely needs something what you want to protect your web application backend from the hacker. Okay, this is the more important thing. So why we need there's some kind of question in your mind. So why we need the web application firewall? Because the most of the companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, they all are using a web application firewall in their security layer to protect their database, the backend, the system from the like this type of hackers. They can protect their backend from this type of SQL injection code, cross-site scripting, having this type of code. It will help you to help you to your backend will securely run, not the hackers will interrupt in backend and everything. Okay? How you like this project? The comment is below. And let's talk about the Ignitia, one of my own framework. Why I am saying about it, because Ignitia is my own framework is inspired by the ActiveSwap and the Exam. Each return type similar to the Exam and everything. Like you can see in Exam like this, but there is a router you need to route with the route. But in Exam, in Ignitia, you need to write it directly, and the handler section may directly need to pass. It will automatically create this similar to the Exam in return, but it can perform like ActiveSwap, the faster framework and the most used in the most on the production ready. This framework is now latest version 0.2.4. You can use it in your production ready. Like I am using here, I will show you some demo. Okay, in router, you can see somewhere else, like same as the exam. I will show you. This is a workspace kit in exam. Here the router. You can see everything is same. I'm not passing here the asset, just showing you. It I directly registered in the main function here. Router stand asset directly registered in main function. The middleware is cross. Inbuilt in cross middleware I'm providing you. And you can see the router. All router are the same. Like the writing everything in the append function. It also same like the coming from the middleware. Same as the exam. In handler, you can see the handler function like same as exam. I open here handler like the port. Here you need to write a router and the port. Nikki you directly write here and directly pass your handler. The function are there in return everything. Here the state, here the extension, here the JSON. Everything was same. The body requires and everything. Also you are error handling was same. You need to just into response, pass into response your error handling. It will directly return in response. In hot function, you can see here that you can register as a response or into response. I will show you here in login you can see it into response, HTTP error and everything. If you are using an older version of Ignitia, there is just some problem. In latest version of Ignitia 0.2.4, it changes everything, all type of API like a middleware and the routing. I will show you here. All matter you need to which matter of the router Radix or the base one. But now in the we always use the Radix. The base is totally removed from the here and all the one you need to write like this in ID and every part of parameter. In new you need to write in curly bracket because it's the more finance and the more safely function for your writing and everything. It's also a wildcard execution syntax. You change everything in the middleware also you can change. Even the WebSocket code also you can access the more of things. You can see the example of WebSocket. Thank you, Dr. Dev. That's great. Thank you. Okay. Here is the WebSocket. You can see how you need to write WebSocket, and you can use also middleware in a WebSocket. In the function of WebSocket, you can expect everything like state, all type of state you are passing in the WebSocket, and the query in the WebSocket. What the query actually comes. Here I am showing the two type of query method. Is the missing authentication, the SQL injection, return this, the code, and the broadcaster can TX broadcaster directly the message type text and everything. In WebSocket there is a one more thing I will show you. This is a simple function of WebSocket connection and everything is give you, but you want here is an example of handler with how you can just pass a handler and here syntax like this, user connection net. Okay, here is a function which matches handler. If you wrap your function everything in message handler and pass this here in WebSocket directly, it will give you a message also you can directly use the message like this text, and you don't need to make like this everything like this and receive the message and everything. It directly give you message with WebSocket connection and batch handler. It means every batch size of the batch size and the time millisecond what you want to time out millisecond. Okay, time out millisecond. And what types of extractor you have: the state, path, query, header, extension, cookie, and JSON. All these type of extractor you can have. This is the path. If you are using path like this in room ID in your second URL, you can extract that also. In query, like you can see in here, I am using query. You can also extract that, validate everything in query. The path, query, headers, you can headers, everything you can extract from here. There is also you can extract a cookie, request ID. You can create your own custom extractor and you can use their WebSocket text message send, the message send text, the binary, the ping pong, everything close, connection close, and everything close frame. The WebSocket is an enhanced feature, the connection pool, and everything you can do with WebSocket as you like. Robust error handling. You can error handling with the most robust. The response routing guide. The routing you can see in Ignitia that like this the get directly you can return because I enhance the response everything into response I integrate in the new version. All version you need to write like this a question mark when you're sending a response of JSON. But now in new version you don't need to write it. It can handle everything. Okay. Treasure code was created. Resources was successfully like this into directly you can do this. Okay. This is the string. How much you can build implemented. Build it implemented for into response. Okay. This is the string, the static string, the count string, JSON with body, the implement testers code and everything. The plain text. Here is an example of how you can return to everything. You can also header map can return header. The number, the tag, convert text to response, the antibody. You can return to anything into response. Okay. You can give custom header with body. You can send it as a response. The format format you want to send, JSON text and everything. Custom builder you can have JSON scenario. That you can just read the documentation. It's a work. It's a fully in detail for my Ignitia framework. What I'm saying about the Ignitia, Ignitia performance is really fastest. I tested 52 scenarios in testing purpose. I will show you Ignitia. I open it. Here are the 52 simple hello world endpoint, empty response, there is JSON, medium JSON, small JSON, medium JSON, the Hug is the largest JSON file. The Hug JSON file, there is so many things in the JSON. The small HTTP, complex HTTP, everything. This is 52 type of testing purpose. I am created this and I tested with Ignitia. I will show you. Okay, I think I forget test. Not in here. Somewhere else. I will show you everything. Second, should I forget where is the okay. Your benchmark and here compared to result. This is framework for Ignitia. all response type here, and this is active web, this is XM. In which okay, yeah, even here. Okay, Ignitia can handle 20,000 requests. And this is all performance of between the three of course. Let's copy this second, copy this, and get to the this, and just give it the response what it can do. Okay, you can see here the comparison between the all three frameworks. Okay. Here you can see Ignitia average RPC request per second is a 21,000. The higher peak is a 23,000. Okay. The average response time is a 0 failure request. The best performance is in a param deep network, the 26 RPS, super fast or the 0.1.06 milliseconds. It can handle all requests. Slower response time is the memory pressure hub. Okay? The average of active framework you can see the average of between the Ignition and active framework. Active framework in the volume of the scale active framework handle the most of the requests. The average response time is active framework is 3. Let's see in a chart. So let's do in a chart. Okay, it's still not in the chart. So now let's go on the chart. You can see the average response time and the active Ninja can perform with active web. Top performance Ninja come out with all hours the response time is very close to the higher response time every average and everything. That's why I'm saying about the Ignitia. If you like Exam, you can also like the Ignitia because you are writing with Exam and Ignitia, both are the same. And the performance Ignitia give you like active web is the most handling request per second efficient. But Ignitia is not that as an active web right now, but it can handle request same as an active web can handle. And if you like my trial of project, you can start here. The link in the description. You can start here. It's the Pingora WFF, the web application, and the Dev-Proxy. It helps you some point in development and the testing purpose. And the Ignitia is our the framework what I built. Thank you come and watching for this live session.
everyone. Thank you so much.